Welcome back into Sports Dog ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord, home of your 3-6 Atlanta Falcons. It doesn't matter where the game takes place, whether it's in Atlanta, whether it's on the road at one of these great NFL cities, or whether it's in Berlin. If the Falcons can find a way to lose a close game, damn it, they are going to find a way. And there's a lot of things to talk about, but I think the biggest thing that we can focus on that really is the only thing that matters the rest of the way. 3-6, you're out of the playoffs. I said we were out of the playoffs last year. You're definitely.
You see the next three games?
You're out of the playoffs, guys.
We're going to be 6-6
no,
here.
The next three. Oh, the Atlanta Falcons against a bad football team. Yeah, that's exact. Sign me up for that. I've just been dying to. And you know
Mark
what?
My words.
They probably there is a chance they will, because what we've learned over this season, despite being 3-6, is we're not that far off. I mean, the Indianapolis Colts have one of the best offenses, and you went out there.
We just lost to the two contenders in the AFC, one by 1 point and another in overtime.
Both away from home.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can nip. I was actually going to come up here and at least, alleviate some of your pain. I can complain about certain facets, but the simple fact of the matter is we're not that far off. We really are not that far off. Like, the single biggest issue as long as I've been a Falcons fan, is we cannot fucking rush the passer. Guess what? Now we can. And I think the jury's still out on Michael Penix Jr. He was bad. The second half, really bad. Like, just missing guys. Just straight up missing guys. Whether it was underthrowing, overthrowing. His mechanics are so sloppy, and generally speaking, some of the guys with the strong arms like Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, once upon a time, they could get away with bad mechanics. Michael Penix Jr. can't. I don't know what has got to change. I mean, that's a coaching issue. Like, get the fucking shit together. Get your feet underneath you and drive the ball. It's that simple. But, I don't think you can make conclusive statements on Michael Penix Jr. We've got a Make-A-Wish kid calling plays right now. Zach Robinson has first half, I liked what we were trying to do. Second half, 0 for 8 on third down. That can't possibly be all on Michael Penix Jr. The offensive line cannot pick up a stunt to save their life. It's just awful. And Bijan Robinson going from the best player in the NFL to just a guy is inexcusable. Drake London can do no wrong. God, that guy is so good. Outside of him, nothing.
Legitimate top 5 wide receiver.
He is unbelievable.
Darnell Mooney, he's been on a milk
non-existent.
Carton. It'll be his last year in Atlanta. He's they'll cut ties for whatever a couple million they have to pay him. Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, been better this year. Yeah. Definitely been better, but still not, 4th overall. We'll see what happens with him in the offseason. I agree with you on Bijan Robinson. Like, this offense was centered completely around him for the first 7-8 weeks, where not just in the run game, it's like he was your wide receiver too. Like, and it wasn't just screens. Like, we were running slants with him, and it was working. It'd be one thing if it was like, he shouldn't be out there. He can't really catch, or he can't really create space, or he's not really a wide receiver. It's like, no, he's legitimately our second best wide receiver threat. So the fact that that's kind of dissipated, and then there were lulls in the second half where they went away completely from the running game, despite it working the entire game, whether it was Algier or whether it was Bijan Robinson. So that was questionable. And I agree with you. I think the jury's still out. I don't know how you can make conclusive judgments on 11 games, especially when there have been good flashes. Like, first of all, yes, the 3 interceptions might be a little bit of fool's gold, but like, he's still only thrown in 3 interceptions. Like, he is taking care of the football, which is a big part of being a young quarterback. He's getting yards. The touchdowns haven't necessarily come there. And yes, there's been some very, very clear inconsistencies and inaccuracies where it's fair to have these conversations, but you can't just be like, there's absolutely no chance, because Zach Robinson is definitely handcuffing this offense. There's no doubt about that.
NFL. There are examples after examples of quarterbacks going to the right guy in the right situation and showing everybody they weren't who they once were. The different chapters of their career, whether it's Sam Darnold. We just saw another one this past Sunday in Berlin, and Daniel Jones. The list goes on and on. Hell, Drake May looked like shit his rookie year. And now, guess what? Favorite for the MVP. Josh McDaniels came back, settled everybody down. I mean, it's that simple, guys. And I'm not going to say that Michael Penix Jr. is ever going to be an MVP or anything like that. But to just say this guy he's a bust is fucking crazy. I mean, we have got Zach Robinson has shown no ability to consistently call an offense. It's that simple. And that falls on the feet of Raheem Morris. And we're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you can't fire Raheem Morris. There's no point. There's no point right now to fire Raheem Morris. And guess what? Nobody else has experience calling plays in the NFL on this staff. So you fire Zach Robinson. Who's going to go? TJ? Raheem Morris going to switch back? There is nobody that is maybe even better suited than Zach Robinson.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So you got to ride it out.
No, and we said that earlier in the season or a week ago when people are clamoring for his jobs. It's like there's no one here that's going to do a better job. There might not be anyone that's even capable, that even has a playbook worthy of.
Nobody's shown it.
Yeah, so I agree with you there. I think the biggest question with this organization and Michael Penix's future is this turmoil that you consistently find yourself in. The only thing consistent is that it's going to be coaching talks. Is the coach going to get fired? Is the GM going to get fired? Are we going to do another coaching search? Is the next guy the guy? Is he good? It's all the same damn conversations for the last 8 seasons. And frankly, down the course of the last 8 weeks of the season, guess what we're going to be talking about? Is Raheem Morris going to be the coach of this team? Is Zach Robinson going to be the OC? Because even if Raheem Morris is brought back, Zach Robinson, no way in fucking hell you can bring Zach Robinson back for another season. So Michael Penix going into this critical third year, we don't know that much about him. He's got a new offensive coordinator. And yeah, it may be a Josh McDaniels situation where it steps in and everything clicks, but it also could be another shit OC. It also could be another shit hire from the Atlanta Falcons like they've done time and time again. And then we're talking about Michael Penix becoming one of those retreads, following the path of the Sam Darnold. Now, does he ever have the resurgence? But it's not going to be with the Falcons, right? So those are it could turn out well, but the constant turmoil, this is when you hear about, wait, why does this young quarterback not develop? Why was he not going to be successful? We are that that is exact. What from the moment this motherfucker, and I'm sorry, I'm not calling him a motherfucker, but he stepped in to this building. We drafted Kirk Cousins. It's been Kirk Cousins. It's been quarterback controversy. Now we've got coach controversy. Now we got fired OCs, maybe a fired head coach. And this has all happened over a 2-year stretch in which are the most important 2 development years of his entire career. This is the definition that Kurt Warner or any of these Hall of Fame or Tom Brady, where they're they screw these young quarterbacks. This is the definition of what it means by you're in a shit situation. You never had a chance to succeed. That's what Michael Penix is in. And that's what worries me just as much as is he the guy?
Yeah. The good news is, like I said, our record, we are what our record says. But if you want to have a nuanced conversation, we are not the New Orleans Saints. We have way more talent than the New Orleans Saints. Now, that's not to say we're ever going to become, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where we're a perennial playoff team, with Arthur Blank calling the shots. We are not this bad. We are not 3-6 bad. We really are not. I don't think we're, as good as I had hoped we had been, but we're still somewhere in the middle. And a coaching staff, more than any other sport like football, can elevate you to become not only not a middling team, but that playoff perennial caliber football team. And that's the only hope that Falcons fans should really have, because Michael Penix Jr., I don't care what anyone says, and I watched the game. He was bad. At least in the second half, he was bad. And he missed so many guys. But in that same breath, I don't know how you can honestly sit here and have a fair conversation about the guy when you are watching a shoddy offensive line at times, a receiving core that is Drake London and a running back and maybe average Kyle Pitts, and then a Zach Robinson offensive coordinator who has no idea what the fuck he's doing. I mean, this guy went from PFF to Sean McVay, and everybody was ready to crown him the next, offensive guru. And I was right there with him. I was like, hell yeah, we got the guy. Everybody wanted him in the NFL in that hiring cycle. Everyone who had an offensive coordinator opening was like, we want Zach Robinson. We got him. We finally felt like the tables were turning our way. And joke's on us. Mm-hmm. It's just one big joke.
Yeah. It is funny. He's the one guy out of that coaching tree.
Everybody wanted him.
Every single person that's come out of that coaching tree, the Kevin O'Connells, the Sean McVay, have not just been great offensive coordinators. They've gone on to be great head coaches outside of maybe Mike McDaniel.
There's a goof down in South Beach.
Who's
just still, beat the Bills.
Still and beat the shit out of us. And guess what? You know what Mike McDaniel can do? Like he might not be able to galvanize the locker room or lead men or anything like that. But guess what? He can call a goddamn plays. Like he knows how to scheme up things to make things easier for his quarterback and accentuate everybody's strengths. So it's just crazy how that's worked out. But you are right. I mean, you want to talk about the positives. I mean, how about the goddamn pass rush?
Awesome.
I mean, 7 sacks. This is awesome. This is the league's number one offense. Yep. A very good offensive team. Now they're able to run the ball at will, but that's been a problem. But guess what? Like, it is kind of fun. Like
400 yards.
It has been 20 years since like a quarterback has dropped back and I've watched us rush the passer. It's literally been 2 decades. I was 10 years old. I barely remember that shit. I was running around in like underwear with the Falcons helmet on being like, Daddy, are the Falcons winning? That was the last time we had a legitimate pass rush. 13 sacks in the last 2 weeks. I mean, that is
shorthanded too.
Shorthanded. Yeah, no Leonard Floyd. Guys banged
Mike
up across.
Hughes, D. Alford.
Billy Bowman. Got
everybody. There was half the starting defense was out.
Divine Diablo, who's been unbelievable. I mean, Jalen Walker, for anyone that was knocking that guy because he started off a little slow, dealt with some groin stuff, like keep in mind, this guy really hasn't been healthy like the entire year at all since training camp. He entered training camp with injury issues.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He has become a stud. I mean, a stud. And like, he's not sacking the quarterback, he's pressuring it. And then he is around the football everywhere. I mean, he is exactly what we thought. And James Pierce, like, he's going to slowly keep getting better, He is a problem. He is a beast. And Brandon Dorless, Zach Harrison. Whoo, I mean, they have
a building. We have a base for a very good defense for whatever head coach comes back in here next year. This is gonna this roster has the bones. Like, we can fault Terry Fontenot all we want. He's gonna get fired. If Raheem Morris gets fired, he's gonna get fired too. I'm not saying he should or shouldn't. I'm just telling you the reality that no GM ever in the history of sports has ever survived 3 head coaches not making the playoffs. Never even sniffing a 500 season. So, I mean, the bones are there. And this bullshit about not having a first-round pick, guess what? You know, what have we been clamoring for? A good pass rush. And we don't have a first-round pick. We got the good pass rusher. 2 years ago, we would have traded 3 first-round picks for 2 good pass rushers.
Yeah. Now, and I don't want to say a little bit of I told you so, but I do remember having this conversation being like, but like if James Pierce turns out to be, because you're absolutely right. And the situation came to fruition where we could have a top 10 pick, but guess what? We got a top 10 pick talent.
Care.
Yeah, we got it. Like if James Pierce is a stud,
unless there's a guy there next year that is better.
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay.
Or the quarterback of the future. But we're probably not going to go out there and get a quarterback yet based on what we've seen from Michael Penix Jr. But you're right. The trade thing, that's just something that and listen, we deserve it. Like, we deserve to be. We
don't deserve the benefit of the doubt.
We deserve to be the national media's punching bag. Like, we are, like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, we are the Cleveland Browns. Like, we are, like, that is the shitstorm that is the Atlanta Falcons. So everything we do, and whether it turned out to be right or wrong, they're going to be able to sit there and say, haha, top 10 pick, you don't even have it. That's embarrassing, isn't it? And it is embarrassing. Like, it frankly is embarrassing. Just the fact that's how that we bet on ourselves and we fell straight on our damn face. Not even because we were bad, because we just make asses out of ourselves on a weekly basis and can't figure out how to way to win close games in a league where every game is close.
Figure out how to find a way. If I hear that one more fucking time from Raheem Morris, that we're going to have to find a way. Yeah, we're going to clean it up. We're going to have to look back and clean it up. And that guy, I said it, a year ago, and I'll keep saying it. He talks like he's trying to meet a word requirement in an essay. You know, when you just throw fluff in, like in high school, you needed 500 words and you were like at like 450. So you just go through and just add bullshit words to this. That's how Raheem Morris talks. It's so fucking annoying. And him, find a way. We're blind. It's blind leading the blind in Atlanta. We cannot find a way. We don't even have a fucking clue.
Yeah, I mean,
It's never been more clear that he is not a good head coach. I mean, it's that simple. And we can talk about the timeouts. I mean, into the half probably should have happened. Into the game, I think, is a bigger deal. When he called a timeout to save 20 or 30 seconds or so for Michael Penix to try and go and get in field goal range for our new guy who looks like he could be a guy, is like, in my mind, it is that damned if you don't kind of a situation where, like, if you do and it works, then you're great. If it doesn't, you're, if I'm a kicker, I would be at a disadvantage if I'm rushing out there and trying to do the, we got to rush out there, get the offense off, get the special teams on. We got to kick this before the clock goes down. I mean, they had 20 seconds or so, but still the process being sped up feels like it's an advantage for the Falcons. You take a timeout, you give that kicker a little bit, who missed a field goal earlier badly, like not even close. So I don't know. I mean, again, I'm nitpicking, but like the simple fact of the matter is Raheem Morris has no business being a head coach in this league. And you see a guy like Mike Vrabel, who the only way I can sleep at night is thinking that we wanted Vrabel and Vrabel didn't want us. Because if we just overlooked Mike Vrabel for Raheem Morris, I mean, that's grounds to never go to a Falcons game ever again. I mean, and who's the next guy coming down the pike? There's no clear and obvious guy next cycle.
Oh, there's never any clear and
Vrabel felt like a clear and obvious guy.
Yes. I mean, the fact that Vrabel got fired in the first place at Tennessee,
that's Tennessee.
Was a complete but
and then I say that's Falcons. Tennessee. Yeah, we're Atlanta. It's a joke.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
have to think he just didn't want us. There's no way.
I just have people want to go and make that argument that's like, oh, he was just waiting for the New England job. Like, okay, maybe he was. Like, maybe he was like, let me see how that was. But in the same breath, like, they just hired Gerard Mann. It was his first year on the job. Like, the precedence for guys getting fired after 1 year is very, very small. And if there was some weird handshake agreement between him and Robert Kraft that makes zero sense, because he could have just hired Mike Vrabel. Like, they passed over Mike Vrabel. He was a free agent. So for people just being like, oh, he was just waiting for the Patriots job, really, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, aside from the fact that it worked out that way. So I don't see that. The guy spent the fucking year in Cleveland as an assistant. Like, what? You're telling me you wouldn't rather have been the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, who, by the way, at the time when we were talking about that, were not a horrendous opening. The only thing horrendous is about the ladder of power. But like, you had these bones in place, these offensive players. You had the 8th overall pick in the draft. You had a bunch of free agent money that you didn't have to spend on Kirk Cousins, guys. That's what we ended up spending it on. So there was plenty there for you to convince them. And it never seemed like there was any real convincing going on with Mike Vrabel. Like, I think there was like one interview and it was like, all right, see ya, good riddance. Like,
I don't understand. I mean, there was 4 other candidates that were better than Raheem Morris. Mike McDonald, he was a great candidate. Look at him in Seattle with Mr. Pissy Pants, Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold's fooling everybody again, by the way. Just wait.
I know everyone is going to say, because, and I don't know why they say it. Like, I always say it. Like, why do you defend the Atlanta Falcons? Like, why do you want to
be a contrarian?
Why do you want to find a way to be like, no, Mike Vrabel didn't want us. Mike McDaniel didn't want us. Mike McDonald didn't want us. Like, all these guys didn't want us. Jim Harbaugh didn't want us. And like, I'm sure like in some instances there is some truth there.
The only way I can fall asleep.
But like, it's very possible that we just didn't take any of those guys super seriously.
What's more likely, the Falcons are dumbasses, or like every single candidate that interviewed for 32 of the most sought after jobs in sports
said no.
And what's more likely?
And if that brings me to the other point. If they're saying no, that's also a huge indictment on the organization. Like, everyone wants a job in the NFL, and to be a head coach. Like, even someone will go coach the Saints, and they're only one worse than us. I might have to start talking about them in a different light if they get.
We got them coming up.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm not counting my chickens before I hatch. Not with this football team, but any way you want to slice it, like, it's a bad indictment on the organization, as I continue to try to say. And it's tough. I mean, it sucks because I feel like we do this every single year and we're up here talking about the same thing. And the next 8 weeks are literally just going to be about is Raheem Morris going to be the coach of the Falcons? And honestly, I have no idea. I'm right there with you, Alex. And I think most Falcons fans are.
I mean, people are dumb.
There's absolutely no way you can convince.
There's no way. What is the defense?
How are you 3-6 with this roster? Like, we have 29 sacks. Like, we have offensive weapons.
Past seasons, 29 is the full slot.
Legitimately think we had 30 or 31. I know it was 30 or 31 sacks. So we're right there, like halfway through the season.
How are we 3-6? And the defense might be, well, he got the Jeff Olberkeier, the second Olberkeier right. But listen, if you're 1 for 3 right now, Jimmy Lake, 0, Zach Robinson, 0. Dude, our fucking special team sucks too. I mean, we cannot cover a punt or a kickoff to save our lives. And it's like one facet of this team fails every single week. Every single week, at least one facet fails.
We talked about it earlier, Alex, and it stays true. It's going to stay true his entire tenure, especially with Zach Robinson. What has he done well? And the answer is nothing. 0. There's not one thing you can point to Raheem Morris. Bad clock management. So he's bad at being a CEO. He's bad at making decisions, bad challenge decisions, bad at determining when to kick a field goal and when to go for it. He's been horrendous at all that stuff that you need to be good at.
Managing players, like injuries.
Managing injuries. The Kirk Cousins, the Younghoe Koo fiasco basically cost us the playoffs last year. And then he was heralded as like, I can put together a great staff. Put together the worst
1 for 3 right now.
I mean, his 2 hires, Jimmy Lake and Zach Robinson, like, are horrendous. Like,
not even like, oh, just average. We got to get like bad, just bad.
Are horrendous. And then it's like, okay, well, he can recruit players. Well, guess what, guys? This isn't college football.
Yeah,
like
they're following the money.
They're following the money, and they're following teams that have actual championship aspirations. Yeah. And the Atlanta Falcons are not that. It doesn't matter.
We just have a bunch of losers, dude. Nobody here other than Jake Matthews has experienced winning in their entire career. Like, literally nobody. Jesse Bates and Jake Matthews. The rest of the cats are all losers. And that's not their fault. It's really not their fault. I feel bad for Chris Lindstrom. I feel bad for Drake London. Drake London and Kyle Pitts have never had any resemblance of success in their NFL careers. All they know is losers. I mean, we're losers. And at a certain point, there's got to be some level of responsibility taken, but we know we're not going to get that. Beatles and McKay and Blank and all those silly little, you know what, are going to sit up there and say that it was a collaboration and we all failed.
What are the odds? I mean, because listen, there's got to be a tipping point, right, to this entire thing where Arthur Blank
Carolina.
No, I'm not.
The past 2 years, for past 2 coaches, it's been Carolina.
I'm not talking about the head coach. I'm just saying, let's say I think Raheem Morris, Zach Robinson, and the crew, because as we've said, I don't think there's not a better option. There's not benefit in firing these guys right now. So I do think they make it through the end of the season. But at the end of the season, depending on how it goes, which not looking great, we fire Raheem Morris. Is Rich McKay sitting up there next to Arthur Blank doing this same song and dance we've done twice or 3 times in the last 5, 6 years or whatever it is?
Knowing how much shit they got for that, there's no way. He might still be involved behind the scenes, but it'll be Beatles and Blank up.
But at what point does Arthur Blank literally just look? I mean, I love you, Alex. If you kept fucking me in the ass for 20 years, I might I'd be like,
this goes beyond the friendship.
I might need to,
look in the mirror. You're like, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's you. You're the problem. Yeah. You keep giving me opportunities and I keep spitting in your face.
And that's fine. That's fine. How does that conversation at some point, there's got to be like, you know what, Rich, this really hasn't worked out. We're hiring our 3rd coach in the last 6 years. Maybe you shouldn't be involved in this process. Like,
who has hiring firms? Dude, what the fuck is that? Get as many people that not even as many people. More voices is not better. Get a couple of people, not Rich McKay and Greg Beatles, who's just been in the organization for 30 years, so you trust him, and get somebody who doesn't have a guy who's like, this guy might be the best for the job, but my job is in jeopardy. Like, that right there should have told Blank all he needed to know. I mean, how does that report come out? I'm talking about Albert Breer reporting when we hired Raheem Morris, and this was obviously we dodged a bullet with Bill Belichick, but nobody knew that at the time. And the reports were that the guys in the hiring process were looking out for their own jobs. That is clearly putting themselves before the franchise. Fans do not need to waste their money on this team anymore. I see a lot of people. I see Mike Bell, at least what Mike Bell does, and you might hate him. I don't think he's nearly as bad as everybody gives him crap for. That guy puts his money where his mouth is. That guy has season tickets. That guy spends tens of thousands of dollars on the Atlanta Falcons. And I don't know how he is going to, really wait, talk to himself and be like, yeah, they're worth the money. And everybody's having those conversations. The economy's tough. The money, and it ain't cheap going to a Falcons game. And the Falcons organization has really got to take a hard look at themselves and stop sitting behind this bullshit of hot dogs are $2. At a certain point, I'll pay fucking $20 for a hot dog to have a winning product on the field.
Yeah. No, and it brings me back to one of my all-time favorite rants, which I'm sure, this is part of the cycle of misery that hasn't been brought out yet, but just wait until we get back home in front of Mercedes-Benz Stadium and that place has 8 fans in it. It always is empty, but it's going to be super, super empty. And it's depressing. It's depressing. I mean, going to a Falcons game over the last 8 seasons and the way that they've turned Mercedes-Benz Stadium and completely ruined it from what it was at the Georgia Dome
shopping mall
is just it's the exact epitome of what the Atlanta Falcons have become. Mercedes-Benz in that empty-ass stadium, whether the Falcons are 4-2 or 2-8, it's always fucking empty. It's always more like church than it is a football game, is the perfect epitome of what this organization has become. It is the perfect epitome, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
I talk to people all the time. My job, I'm in sales, so I talk to people all over the state of Georgia. And I always like to bring up sometimes, what do you think about the Falcons or the Braves or the Hawks? But obviously it's football season. Everybody is everybody is of the same mindset that this is an absolute shit show. You're an absolute embarrassment. And it's not like the Falcons are some new organization. We have been around for a very long time. Maybe not, the Green Bay Packers, but a very long time. And we deserve better. How can you not go up there and take some level of responsibility and be like, I apologize to the fans. You guys deserve better. At least then we'd be like, okay, it's nice to be acknowledged. But they're going to go up there and it's gotta have to find a way. And you know what? I've got all the faith in the world in the guys in the building. I don't know how you can fucking say that, but you say it every single time. I would like just one time somebody to go up and be like, I am not happy. I am not happy with the coaching staff. I am not happy with the play on the field. That would be nice. We don't have to be a family every single day of the week. Yeah. Guess what? Family fight.
But that's the problem with the Raheem Morris hire, man. It's when we haven't had Mark Zeno on the show a lot this year just because of tactical reasons, not because we don't love Mark Zeno.
Love that guy.
We definitely want to do that sooner rather than later. But all the times we had Mark Zeno on here, how many times did he say, I like Raheem Morris. I like Raheem Morris. And that's the problem. Everybody likes Raheem Morris. So the guys in the locker room aren't going to publicly turn on him. And that's what the Falcons knew that they were getting. They knew they were getting a yes man. They knew they were getting someone that everyone was going to like. They knew they were going to continue this fugazi, fake family organization that has never led to a winning product. And that's what they were going to do. They preferred that because that was safe. And frankly, it is going to be safe because you're not going to get any of that. You're not going to get players turning on each other and turning on the coaches and stuff like that. But you know what you're also not going to get? You're not going to get winning football games.
Nope. It might be nice to get uncomfortable here in the near future.
Super uncomfortable. And I think that starts.
We're all uncomfortable every Sunday on the couch. Why don't they get uncomfortable a little bit?
Every Sunday. And
that's the problem. Nobody is stressed out. Maybe Raheem Morris is stressed out, obviously, because his head is on the block. But the guys in the C-suite, they're not worried. They are not stressed out because it doesn't matter. At a certain point, people have to be scared for their jobs. It's just, this is absolutely ridiculous. New head coach, new GM, doesn't fucking matter. It's just a facade because it's still the guy. It's like the what's the Wizard movie? Wizard of Oz. And it's just the guy behind the curtain. It's just the same guy. Doesn't matter. That's what the Falcons are. We could change head coaches. We could change quarterbacks. But at the simple fact of the matter, those guys are just an extension of the same cats who have been pulling the strings for our entire lives.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't know until I saw Wicked that the Wizard of Oz was like not a good person.
I've never seen Wicked.
Yeah, but like the way that you mentioned, it's the guy pulling the strings that's kind of a fraud. That's a fraud. That's what it is. I never realized that until I watched it. I was like, oh, I always thought the Wizard of Oz, he was the magical man. He was doing everything.
And we're just the idiots on the yellow brick road.
All I'm saying is I appreciate that connection because I do that it really is what it is like. That it really is what it is like. They hide behind the curtain and they're all a bunch of frauds.
And no worry to lose their job.
And until that changes, as we said when Raheem Morris was hired, we had our doubts. We like to bring optimism into
I don't want to be right.
We like to bring optimism into every season. I mean, go back and watch the video we had over the Bills. You wouldn't have seen two happier people. All we want to do is watch us fucking win a game.
I'll end it on an optimistic note. We got the fucking roster. Like, you don't go toe-to-toe with the Colts and the Patriots, who are two contenders in the AFC, beat the Bills, who are also a contender in the AFC, without having some level of a competent roster. Like, we've got some dudes. And guess what? We finally have a fucking pass rush. We just need to figure out whether Michael Penix Jr. is a franchise quarterback. And nobody can say that he is or isn't right now because Zach Robinson is a make-a-wish offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Jalen Walker is a reason to tune in every Sunday.
100%.
Yeah, and especially him being from Georgia, being a Kirby Smart guy. Everybody wanted us to draft Jalen Walker, us included. We were all frankly shocked he made it to 15. We all thought he was going to be a top 10 pick or maybe 12, 11. We didn't think we were going to have that opportunity. They made the obvious decision. They finally brought a Georgia boy home, a real dog, a savage, like an absolute savage. And that's what he looks like on Sundays now. And watching him over these next 8 weeks,
fun.
That and the development of Michael Penix is still an intriguing storyline. Like, no matter what you want to say, is it going to be frustrating? Yes. I doubt everything's going to be fixed next week, especially with Zach Robinson, but can he show us enough over these next 8 weeks that we have confidence in him being the starting quarterback of the franchise? Or do we need to start thinking about, taking quarterbacks again? Like, and I know we don't want to say that, but these next 8 weeks, I believe, are going to be big. Like, he does need to show us a little bit more. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Because at a certain point, like, Zach Robinson can't make him stop underthrowing balls. Like, that's not Zach Robinson's fault. I don't know how. I mean, he missed so many in the second half, like too many to count.
The throw to David Sills over the middle of the field, where I want to hope and believe that was just like, all right, that guy's not on the field very often. Maybe they just didn't know exactly where they were supposed to be. Maybe it was the receiver's fault completely, but it was 20 yards to the left of him. And then some of his out routes, which are
out routes to the sidelines don't even have a chance.
Which is supposed to be his strong suit.
Right.
Like, he's got this arm that is literally a cannon. Like, he should be able to put those balls on the money.
He's underthrowing those. He's overthrowing those. Like, come on, Goldilocks, just something in the middle.
Yeah. And it sucks because, and I remember when we did this draft show, I know we're going a lot into the past, but we did the live draft show and we took Michael Penix, and it was the most shocking decision I've ever seen an organization do, especially my own organization.
We're so much smarter than everybody.
But yeah, and that's, I guess, the last thing I'll say kind of on the Terry Fontenot thing, because we didn't really talk about him, and we've both been vocal.
He made his bed.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, not only are you looking at 5 straight, not even playoff seasons, not winning seasons, which I don't know who the hell survives that no matter what. But I mean, you're talking about multiple coaching changes. And then on top of that, you didn't just go after one quarterback, you went after 2, and they both suck. Like, Kirk Cousins was horrendous outside of those first 8 weeks and looks like a zombie when he was out there on the field. And Michael Penix, with the 8th overall pick, hasn't lived up to the billing of an 8th overall pick. So he's been given every opportunity in terms of the big decisions. I agree with some of the other stuff. I mean, the pass rush being back is great and stuff, but it's hard to imagine anyone surviving that, especially when you didn't go after one quarterback. You went after 2. You went after 2.
Potentially missed. You definitely missed on 1, and you may have missed on 2. And, it wasn't.
Don't even get me started with Desmond.
It wasn't even one of those things where it was like, this was the conventional thinking that most NFL teams do. This is what they do. They go and get a veteran to mentor a young guy. No. You went to get the most expensive quarterback on the market in the same exact offseason that you spent your most valuable pick on a quarterback.
And
then you laughed at people when they were like, you're an idiot.
And by the way, the teams that went in different directions, a la, let's go get Baker Mayfield, a la, let's go get Sam Darnold, and they went and paid them like.
Well, I wouldn't have been happy with Darnold.
I'm just saying, though, like, they paid him for like, the Vikings paid him what, $5 million? Baker Mayfield made $5 million. And obviously, I'd rather have Baker. But Sam Darnold still looks pretty damn good. And I know the Vikings didn't retain him, but the facts are you didn't have to go get $150 million quarterback. You could have gotten Sam Darnold and sat Michael Penix behind him or someone like that.
I always just held out hope that it would work out seamlessly. Kirk Cousins lead us to the playoffs 2 years in a row. We get really close to a Super Bowl, just can't get over the hump. We need that talent, that arm talent that Kirk Cousins just never had. Michael Penix takes over year 3, Super Bowl, MVP. The Falcons were back. It couldn't have gone worse. It literally cannot have gone worse.
This was always the more likely of the two scenarios.
I think something way in the middle would have been most likely, where it's like, Kirk Cousins is pretty good, Michael Penix pretty good, has moments, blah, blah, blah. We still don't make the playoffs one year. We do make it one year. Like, no. Everything's going wrong. Everything.
But that's the thing. Like, was there never the thought that this could happen?
I don't think that literally entered the mind of those positive freaks. Because everybody in the Falcons organization is just a positive freak, and they didn't even think of the alternative.
Because this was definitely more likely than
what I said,
a positive.
Perfect. Like, yes, 100%.
This was definitely, let's say something in the middle was 50%. This was 40. That one was like 10. I think the positive outlook that everything would just go smoothly.
Coming off an Achilles.
Yeah. And I got
can't forget that aspect. Golly. I seriously think, did anybody go? So, they're in that big boardroom. Everybody's in their 3-piece suits. That's one thing. I'll never knock the Falcons, man. We look fucking good. Everybody can dress to the nines. But we're in the big boardroom. We're talking shop. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We need a quarterback. We need to fix it. Why don't we get 2 quarterbacks? Hey, that's a good idea. Why don't we pay the most expensive free agent on the market and then also pick the oldest prospect in the draft, have him sit for 2 years. He'll be ready to go. Some little idiot down there, nerd, maybe an intern. Hey, Kirk Cousins is coming off an Achilles, and if we guarantee him all this money and he's not good, we still have to pay him. And Michael Penix is, even if it does go good, we waste 2 years of his rookie contract. And everybody just throws paper at him. Get the fuck out. Negative comments? No. We can't even think of what could go wrong. We have to only think of the bright and shiny future. That's what really probably happened. Nobody's even allowed to talk negatively in the Atlanta Falcons organization. It's all coach speak.
Yeah.
Even in the boardroom.
I think some of it does have to do, and we talked a lot about with Zeno, though, Arthur Blank and just his desire to get us out of this shithole that we're in. Because as we do consistently bring up with Blank, the guy desperately wants to bring a winner. There's no doubt about it, but it's almost like it's too much. He wants it too much. So when someone comes up with this dumbass idea, it's like, we're going to have Kirk and Penix. That means we're not going to suck. We're
going to be good forever.
Yeah. We're going to be good now and in the future. And Blank, just blinded by overwhelming, oh, please make the playoffs, just kind of overlooks all those things that you just said. Because I really think it's something like that. I really believe he wanted us to he's like, dude, we've had shit quarterback play for 3 years. Do whatever the hell you got to do. Make sure we don't have shit quarterback play. And at the end of the day, we still have shit quarterback play.
Love it here.
That's just what it is, guys. We're all in this together. Yep. Unfortunately, that's how we have to sign off every single show. We're all in it together, guys. If you're still here, man, thank you.
Hey, character counts, and we've got a lot of it in Atlanta.
Thank you for watching this show while we're 3-6 for the 88th year in the fucking row. So we can just vent about how shit this organization, how we're literally the Cleveland goddamn Browns. At least I would say it's not cold, but it's like 10 degrees outside and I'm freezing my ass off. But thank you guys for watching, seriously. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.